The Middle Sea, A History of the Mediterranean, John Julius Norwitz. At last the way was clear for the invasion of Austria. True, it lay across the neutral territory of Venice, but that could not be helped. Such considerations were certainly not heeded by the Austrians, who were regularly crossing Venetian lands without let or hindrance. But if Venice did not protest, and her imperial sympathies were well known, Napoleon certainly did, taking every opportunity to browbeat and even threaten the local Venetian authorities. What they did not know was that his anger on these occasions was nothing but a simulated display, and that most of his threats were empty. His real purpose in his dealings with Venice at this time was not to enlist her aid or even to persuade her to take a more firmly neutral line. Rather, it was to frighten her, to put her in the wrong, to make her feel guilty and inadequate, to erode her pride, confidence, and self respect to the point where her moral resistance would be reduced to the same level as her physical. Towards the end of March 1797, Napoleon led his army north over the Brixen Pass and into the Tyrol. There he took the road to Vienna, leaving behind him only a few light garrisons in Bergamo and Brescia, with a rather more considerable force in Verona. He seems, however, to have had a secret purpose in mind: to stir up throughout the Veneto a revolutionary mood and to promote, wherever possible, open risings against Venice. The danger was, of course, that such risings might backfire against the French themselves, which indeed they did. On Easter Monday, 17 April, despite the strength of the garrison, the people of Verona came out in open insurrection and, in what came to be known as the Pac Veronese, the Veronese Easter, massacred a considerable number of Frenchmen, both soldiers and civilians. Similar, though less serious outbreaks took place in Bergamo and Brescia, though these were principally directed against Venice. If, as is generally believed, all this was the work of French agents provocateurs, Napoleon would certainly have deemed the losses well worthwhile. They would have provided him with a further excuse for attacking the Venetian Republic, which he was by now determined to eradicate once and for all. When the news of these risings and of many others which followed them reached Venice, it caused something akin to panic. All the terra firma west of the Mincio River was effectively lost. The new frontier must be defended at any price. Armed militias raised among the local peasantry were the only hope. The local French commander, General Balland, was informed of Venice's intentions, it being emphasized to him that the measures proposed were to be purely defensive, directed not against the French, but against rebellious citizens of the Republic. What nobody seems to have foreseen was that these peasants, there were probably at least 10,000 of them, finding themselves for the first time with weapons in their hands, might not be over conscientious in the manner of using them. They had no quarrel with the Italian rebels. They did, on the other hand, have plenty of outstanding scores to settle with the French, whose foraging parties regularly made free with their crops, their livestock, and, as often as not, their wives and daughters into the bargain. It was not long before the serious sniping began. Balland's reprisals were swift and savage, but they had no effect. By early April, every pretense of civility between French and Italians was gone.